Hi, Michelle from Birdcage Thread here with a new pattern as part of the compact collection called the Tucker Treat Bag. This pattern is only available on Craftsy, and I'll put a link in the description box below to the listing on Craftsy. The Tucker Treat Bag is a small bag designed to hold treats and doggy waste bags when on the go. The bag has a loop at the top, allowing you the option of sewing in a swivel clasp or omitting it and clipping on a carabiner once the bag is complete. Both of these options allow you to clip the bag to your belt loop. If you use a carabiner, you don't need a belt loop. You can simply slip the carabiner over your waistband. The elastic pocket on the front holds easy to reach items such as treats or waste bags. You could, if you wanted to, add a large grommet to allow the bags to pull out from the front, but keep in mind you won't be able to keep treats in there as they will fall out from the grommet. The zippered pocket on the back holds all your other essentials such as keys or a phone. If the phone is large, you can customize this pouch by lengthening all the pieces by the same amount except for this top zippered pocket pieces here. It also features a side D-ring, which again is optional, which you can use to clip keys or anything to. So grab your supplies and let's get sewing. So firstly, you're going to cut your fabric and your interfacing. You'll also need a zipper, some elastic, and some optional hardware. So firstly, you're going to prepare your fabric by fusing the SF101 to both main panels, one each of the back zip pocket pieces and the loop fabric piece. Next, we're going to make the fabric loops. So take the loop piece and place it wrong side up on your ironing board. Fold it in half lengthwise and press. Open that back out and then fold each of the long raw edges to that center crease. Refold that center crease and press. Then you're going to top stitch along both long edges, about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. Then you're going to cut that in half widthwise to make 2 loops. So these are what your loops should look like when you've cut the strip in half. Now we're going to make the elastic pocket. So take the 2 pocket pieces and place them right sides together. Then you're going to sew along this long edge here using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once you've done that, you're going to turn it right side out and press the seam. Now the pocket pieces are sewn and you've pressed the seam open, you're going to place the wrong sides together. Next, you're going to top stitch along this seam here. Then you're going to sew another line of top stitching below the first, about 1/2 an inch from the first line of top stitching. And this will form a casing to thread the elastic through. And once you've made that channel, thread the elastic through the casing, securing each end of the elastic at the raw edges of the casing. So now I've threaded the elastic through and secured at each end. You'll notice that I have about 1/4 inch excess elastic that I've pulled through. That's optional. You can leave it the full width of the elastic so that the raw edge of the elastic is in line with the raw edge of the fabric, or you can create a little bit tighter pocket, but don't pull through too much, as it's going to, if you do that, the whole bag will get pulled in and you don't want the sides of the actual bag coming in. So if you choose to just take out a little bit of that elastic, just trim the excess. Now we're going to make the pleats in the bottom section of the pocket here. So firstly, find the center of this long raw edge. Now from that center point, you're going to mark 1.5 inches each side. So again, from that center point, mark 1.5 inches out and place a mark. And same on the other side, 1.5 inches from that center point and place a mark. Next, you're going to make a 1/2 inch pleat. So what I'll do is I'll measure from that point another 1 inch out. Again, on the other side, 1 inch from that first mark that I made. Then you're going to bring those 2 points together and fold that excess back towards the center and place a wonder clip. Repeat on this side. So these 2 marks here, you're going to bring those together. Then that fold that's created on the bottom, you're going to fold that towards the center point. Then you can baste those 2 pleats in place. So that's the front elastic pocket complete, with the elastic in the top and the 2 pleats at the bottom. So next we're going to make the zip pocket. So firstly, you'll need your zipper plus the 2 top pieces of the zip pocket. So take the piece that has the interfacing on it, and that will be the outer piece. So place it right side down to the right side of the zipper, lining up the raw edge of the fabric with the edge of the zipper tape. Then you're going to flip this over and you're going to do the same with the lining. So place the lining right side down over the back side of the zipper, lining up the short ends of the fabrics, and then replacing those wonder clips. Then, using your zipper foot and a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you're going to stitch along this edge here. Once you've done that, you're going to open out the fabrics and press. Then you're going to top stitch along the seam. So next you're going to do the same with the bottom zip pocket pieces. So take the outer bottom zip pocket piece, which is the piece with the interfacing, and place it right side down over the right side of the zipper, lining up the edge of the bottom piece with the edge of the top piece, and lining up the raw edge of the fabric along the edge of the zipper tape, and wonder clip that in place. Just as you did before, you're going to flip it over and then add the lining to it. So take the lining and place it right side down over the wrong side of the zipper, and the right sides of the fabric will be facing. Again, you're going to line up the raw edge of the fabric with the edge of the zipper tape and the raw edges of the sides, and then replace the wonder clips. And again, just as you did before, you're going to stitch using a 1/4 inch seam allowance and your zipper foot along that seam there. Open out, press, and top stitch that seam. Now that your back zip pocket is complete, you're going to take the zip pocket as well as the front elastic pocket and your 2 main panels, and we're going to baste each of these pockets to each main panel. So take one of the main panels and place it right sides up. Then you're going to place the zip pocket so that the wrong side of the pocket is facing down, and line up all the raw edges. If you have a little extra left over of the zip pocket like this, just scoot the main panel so that you have the excess at the bottom. Then you're going to baste around the edge here, all the 4 edges, but before you do, make sure that the zipper pull is on the inside of the pocket. And before you baste, trim the excess fabric along the bottom there. Next, you're going to do the same with the elastic pocket. So take the second main panel and place the elastic pocket over the top and line up the bottom edge here with the pleat, and then line up these raw edges here, and you're going to baste around these 3 raw edges. So now each of the pockets have been basted to a main panel. You can trim the excess zipper of the zipper pocket. Next, we're going to add a loop to the side of the elastic pocket here. So take one of your loop pieces, and if you're using a D-ring, insert the ring onto the fabric piece like that, and then fold it in half. Now I've allowed extra fabric along here, depending on how long you want that loop. Just keeping in mind that you're going to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance down this side, so don't put it too close to the edge. So I'm going to put mine about here, and you'll want to put it just below the elastic, and you'll baste the edge there, just about 1/8 of an inch away from the raw edge. Then you're going to trim the excess. Now that both pockets are prepped, we're going to sew the bag together, and we're almost done. So place the 2 pocket pieces right sides together, but before you do, make sure that the zipper pull is in the center like that. So place them right sides together. Pin or wonder clip the 2 pockets together. Then we're going to sew around the bag, leaving a 3-inch gap in the center top of the bag. Make sure it's the top and not the bottom. So the bottom here is where your elastic pocket is. So you're going to begin at the mark on the right hand side using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You're going to sew from there around all the sides there, and then finally finish at this mark here. So once you've sewn around the bag and left the gap for turning, you're going to press these top edges open. Just makes the last step a little easier. So press that open with your iron. Next, you're going to trim the corners, being careful not to cut your stitching. This is my basting line here, and this is the 1/4 inch seam. Then you're going to turn the bag right side out. So once your bag is right side out and the corners are poked out, you're going to fold these raw edges at the top towards the inside. Then you're going to take your second loop of fabric and fold that in half. You're going to slip that in the top center. If you're adding hardware, add that to the loop. Now I'm just going to fold it to find the center. Then you're going to fold the other raw edge towards the middle or towards the inside. and use wonder clips to hold it all in place. Make sure that loop is straight and in the center. Then you're going to take that to your machine and top stitch along there to secure. So now it's top stitched along there and the loop is secured in that top stitching. Your bag is complete. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and thanks for watching.